Good afternoon, everyone. This is the market update for Tuesday, September 30th, quarter end in the market, and hopefully a lot of the nonsense we've seen over the last few days will disappear for a few days now that the quarter end has ended. Typically what we've seen over the last few months is the first couple of days of the new quarter tend to be upside biased, so let's see if that is still the case with this market. Doesn't really matter, though. We keep hitting home runs left and right. And actually, let's jump into the stock charts first and go over the market at the end. Monster winner for us yesterday in LOOK. Yet again, low float theme that is all traders want in this market. And with news of Facebook rolling out its new targeted ads, Atlas, I believe it is called, Look was primed and ready on the chart for a big move. Our target was 240 on this one, and it ended up trading as high as 288 when the chasers came in. Just a fantastic move. Gave up today, but all our targets got hit yesterday on that huge volume spike, and it's definitely one to keep an eye on. If it does retrade over the next couple of days down towards that 200-day moving average, 190 to the $2 area. What we will be looking at, as I've said many times on these low float stocks, is continuation volume. What we've seen happen many times is a big volume pop, retrace, and then a really big volume pop pushes them to new highs. Now, we've got another big IPO tomorrow, VSLR, a solar installation company. It is a peer of Solar City that's done fantastic over the last couple of years. And it's supposed to price tonight, oversubscribed many times. It'll be this week's hot IPO is what it's looking like. And we, of course, were able to find a beautiful play on that CBDE. Now, the reason you don't see any action here is this was an uplist slash IPO back in June, which is why it's not on most traders' radars. These guys, their subsidiary, as I sent out in the email today, is Westinghouse Solar, and they have just started to do a rollout in the U.S. These guys are giants overseas. They actually have 6 times more revenue than this IPO that's going out tomorrow. $64 million in sales in 2013 per the SEC filings, and VSLR could have anywhere from a $2 to $3 billion market cap tomorrow on its IPO with $10 million in sales in the last 6 months. These guys have $64 million and market cap is under $20 million. Mega low float. This is the kind of chart that we could see just go simply vertical over the next few days. Remember what our ITT did last week, and it wasn't as pure a play on an IPO as this one is. Big time breakout here is a break over that 325, 340 area. We get a break through this level tomorrow, and 4 will come very fast. And believe it or not, if this gets any sort of volume tomorrow and we get the attention of the robot trading programs, this is the kind of stock that could do a move like Digley or some of those other massive plays that went from $2 to $10 in a couple of days. We saw a positive MACD cross today. Stochastics up through 50, RSI straight up through 50. This is a chart that could do very well tomorrow into that IPO. Of course, our other play on that one was RGSE, Real Good Solar, another residential solar installer that we jumped into at 155 to 57. Very nice close on this one on big volume. Gap fill break is at the 50-day moving average at 182, and we get a push through that tomorrow, and we could see this one move to 2+. Now, this one would be the big winner, in my opinion, if we did not have this low float one. This is a low float market, and this stock right here has all the ingredients for a big time move on a successful IPO tomorrow on VSLR. So looking very good. We had another home run out of the park today on a couple of nice plays, and it should continue into tomorrow. But anyway, back to the overall market. Of course, yesterday they sold us off because there was some peaceful protesting in Hong Kong, and that was used as the excuse to beat us down. But as you can see, what's been happening is we get sold off, we end up bouncing back, and it's all noise because there is momentum all over the place. If there is a story, there is a stock that is moving on it. Now, the inverted head and shoulders formation that we have had in play over the last month or so, I don't have the right shoulder here just because it's getting to be a fat shoulder. Essentially what I'll say is we want to hold the 16,900 level to keep this setup in play. 15-minute chart, you can see the noise here back and forth, but if you just trade the stocks that are moving, who cares what this market does right now? We're about to enter, or we are entering the third quarter. Should be a very, very strong quarter based on all the stats I've outlined in previous videos. Dow Transports. This is the indice that we really pay close attention to. A little bit of weakness today, surprising given that oil got beat over the head. Now, the oil hammer down may have a lot to do with the strong dollar today and quarter-end window dressing, so we'll get a real idea of what oil is going to do in the near term. Uptrend line is still solidly in place here on the Dow Transports, and really the Dow Transports are essentially just like the small caps, really out of vogue right now. I mean, look at the small cap Russell Index. No one wants to buy these stocks. Actually, let me clarify that. No one wants to buy these stocks unless they're a low float in this market, and part of our jobs as being traders is to adapt to what the market does. You know, if you go out there and say, this stock should move because I say it should move, and the market says it's not going to move, you need to pay attention to the market or you'll get run over. Right now, larger float, small caps, not really moving, although we're seeing some signs of that action. There was a couple of turdy moves today, like we had RGSE move, but I mean, look at the move on specs. Specs went ballistic today, but you know what the key was on specs? Volume. That is essentially the main ingredient on every mover in this market right now, be it low float or large float. If they can get volume, they will move. So you want to see volume. You know, once this stock broke 2 million in volume, it just kept going and going and going, and that seems to be the trigger for a lot of these movers. And when we go into the market tomorrow, we get that kind of volume like we saw back in August on CBDE when the stock got 4 million in volume. It went up 100% in a day, and then got an even, spike the next day after that. So that's what we're going to be keying off tomorrow, is another volume push. 210, 225 is where they'll really start to chase this one. But VSLR has all the signs of being a big IPO, and this is the low flow play of that right now. Quick mention on the McClellan oscillator that we've been looking at. It continues to bounce around in the negative zone, and actually the longer it does that, believe it or not, the better it is for the market, because it shows the pessimism that's out there and the shorts that are out there. You know, I was talking to someone today, and they were telling me how they say, you know what, this market's topped. There's no shorts in this market. And I told the guy, go look on Twitter, because anytime a stock moves a few cents, you got 50 guys out there saying, I'm shorting this stupid spike on this crap stock, blah, blah, blah. There are shorts all over this market, and that is why we're going to see stocks like specs go up like this, and hopefully tomorrow see stocks like CBDE double. So as long as there's shorts out there, this market ain't topped. Any questions, shoot me an email, feedback, BuySellShort.com. Have an awesome evening, guys, and see you in the chat room tomorrow. Bye.